This podcast is not safe for work and will feature movie spoilers. It will feature scenes described of a graphic nature. It will contain language which most listeners may find offensive. Welcome to the podcast Under the Stairs. Hi everyone and welcome to this special episode of the podcast Under the Stairs. Yes, we are returning with something a little bit different. As I mentioned on my return episode about 2 weeks ago, last year I spent a huge amount of time not doing this show, but rather doing another show with the Baz, long-time collaborator and co-host of the podcast Under the Stairs. We decided to try something completely different and bring a podcast which was more bite-sized, more fun, and worked on a kind of video medium as well as the audio medium. So we're on YouTube. You can check us out if you have video podcast apps available, things like Spotify or Anchor. And the show's called the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast. Its whole purpose, the whole design behind this show is basically no longer than 30 minutes per episode. Episodes every 2 weeks, 20 movies per season, but the caveat is they must be a B movie. So there is some gold in there. There's also a lot of trash in there. And first and foremost, there's a lot of Baz in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you hear the episode which is dropping the same day that this episode drops on the B-Movie Blitzkrieg feed. This was our episode number 16 where we covered the movie Shakma. The next episode on B-Movie Blitzkrieg will come out 2 weeks from this date. So, yeah, go and check that out. That'll be Friday the 13th of February for the next episode, which will be featuring Night of the Comet. But check it out. If you like what you hear, go and check out that show. As always, the links will be in the description underneath. But, yeah, B-Movie Blitzkrieg, episode number 16. What could possibly go wrong? I will speak to you all very, very soon when I return with the Slasher Classics, looking at Skinned Alive, disc number 51 in the collection. But until then, enjoy.
Warning. The show you are about to hear contains muscular, intelligent, and intelligible sexy men discussing B-movies, and will contain movie spoilers. Only one of the previous statements is actually true. You decide.
So light that fuse and let it burn. There's no escape, there's no return. Exploding heads and synthwave licks. We're deep in cult classic kicks. Low budget dreams that never quit. Every frame a misfit hit. This is the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast. This is Duncan and the Bass. The B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast.
And welcome back to another episode of the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast, the cinematic cage match where logic gets mauled, safety manuals are shredded, and the only thing more unpredictable than the plot is the primate. I am your host, Duncan McLeish, the game master of gore, the dungeon lord of dumb decisions, the baboon whisperer of B-movie bedlam, and the only man who once asked the zoo if borrowing a primate for a horror marathon counted as community outreach. After a lengthy court battle, the answer, I'm afraid to say, is no. Tonight, we are locking ourselves in the lab with Shakma from 1990, a film that boldly asks, what if your D&D night was interrupted by a homicidal baboon with anger issues and cardio for days? Expect fur, fury, and the most terrifying primate since King Kong discovered CrossFit. Unlike our previous episode, this movie is a movie that our monster is not stitched together in a lab. He's already alive, he's already angry, and already plotting your demise while you, yes you, argue about lab room seniority. But while lesser scholars flee the lab when the cage starts rattling, my co-host stays behind to roll initiative. He is the Dean of the Doom Dice, the Professor of Primate Peril, the Chancellor of Chimp-Adjacent Carnage, a man who believes every experiment can be solved with a D20 and a locked door, right up until the baboon starts sprinting. He's the only academic who sees a blood-soaked dungeon crawl and says, ah yes, fascinating methodology. Of course, he is my friend, my long-suffering friend. I apologise profusely for making you watch this movie. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the Baz.
Guten Abend, mein sexy Liebchen. Let's unleash the panzers against the Red Menace. And I'm not talking about that baboon's arse, but rest assured, the only Untermenschen we'll be packing onto trains and sending off to camps will be fucking LARPers. Baz
We've arrived.
Mean whiskey drunk tonight, folks.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say, right? I put this on here because I'd like the if you look at the list of movies, there's a couple of every type of movie in here, right? So there's a couple of blaxploitation, there's a couple of over-the-top action movies, there's a couple of creature features, and to me, Shakma falls in that. I was like, that let's do Animals Run Amok. It'll be fun. We'll bring them in there, and there's a laundry list of them. And I got Shakma on Blu-ray like 2 years ago when they released it, and I'd seen it before, but I got it and I was like, you know what? This gives me a chance to break the seal on this bad boy. And I had forgotten how mind-numbingly boring this movie is.
Go fuck me.
And you told me, I think about a week after we started planning stuff out, you were like, you listen, I have tried 2 times to get through this movie, and I have fallen asleep both times. And yeah, so I'm just going to put out there, if you're a Shakma fan and you're tuning in this because you cannot wait, riveted to hear, I'm going to spoil the end of this episode here. Neither myself nor Baz has a particular high opinion of this movie. There are things I do like, and I will get to them, but I think ultimately when watching this movie, if all I could think about was watching Congo, which is not a great movie, that's a worry. That's a worry. So I once again want to have it recorded as evidence for the listeners out there that I, Duncan McLeish, apologise to you, Baz, that I put this movie on the list here because I think this is the only movie that you've done thus far. And we've got to episode 16 with 2 bonus episodes where you've literally said to me, this has been like a couple of attempts to get through.
Yeah. Can I ask, you're saying you own this on Blu-ray. Was this a part of a series?
No.
Slasher Classics, or was this
No, I think this is Vinegar Syndrome. I have plenty of Blu-rays that I purchased that I regret buying. It just is added to the pile of those ones that I now own.
Fair enough.
So, right, ladies and gents, like, we have set this up in a way where you're like that. What could have happened in this movie that could have turned off Duncan and put the Baz to sleep? Well, the way we find that out is by turning over to the Baz in the next segment where he's going to talk us through the synopsis. We're going to be right back to do it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Dice, Death, and Dumb Decisions. Baz, what the hell happens in Shakma?
Well, what this section should really have been called, Duncan, is Baz forgot to write a plot synopsis for this movie, which I didn't realise until I opened my notes at the start of this recording. And I've got all my other notes there. And I've obviously thought I'll go back at the end and just do a quick plot synopsis. And I've not. All I've got is, note to self, this would make an amazing escape room idea. Which I think is probably a note to myself to talk to our friend Scott about it, because Scott's always coming up with fucking ideas of things like that. I'm like, we should do a Shakma escape room.
You've 1 hour to escape the room or you're mauled to death by an angry gorilla.
From what I can remember. So there are a bunch of kind of medical students, kind of junior doctory type people.
Yep.
working in this kind of teaching hospital building type thing with an elderly kind of tutor guy. And they seem to be doing some kind of medical research, and they have numerous animals in their lab for sake of their experiments. But they've also written this fucking really bad role-playing game on kind of early PCs. And they all hang back one night to play the game. And as they do this, Shakma, who is this fully engorged baboon, who's fucked right off because he's full of all sorts of drugs, I can imagine. He basically goes on a rampage.
They inject him with some sort of experimental rage drug, like they do at the beginning of fucking 20 days later, and they think he's dead, and rather than burn the body, Roddy McDowall, who is the kind of head doctor, Roddy McDowall, famous actor,
he's the overtly homosexual tutor.
100 so camp, it's unbelievable. He like keeps the body for some weird reason, and of course turns out monkey ain't dead, so
and then it just goes fucking mental. And they all basically conspire against each other not to get out of that building safely, which makes no fucking sense at all. That in a nutshell is Shakma.
Like, that is probably the best description you give it. It literally is that, and there's no more depth than what Baz has said. This is as deep as a teaspoonful of water. That's how much depth you're getting here.
Which, ironically, at least if it was that, you could drown yourself in it.
You could, if you wanted to, and you had, like, rather than watch this movie again, it is possible. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's time to talk about the rad, the sad, the bad, the mad, and the painfully slow. When we come back, we're going to be doing it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Critical Hits and Fatal Fumbles. This is the mad, sad, bad rant of Shakma. Cool. Right. The rad thing here, the rad thing is the monkey. I agree on that one. Because this, they got a real animal in here.
That's my very first point.
Go for it.
Down is at least they used an actual baboon.
Yes, there's no one.
If they'd used some prop, this film would have been beyond horrendous. Do you know what I mean? It would have been absolute fucking dog shite. So at least they used a real monkey. Although I'm quite concerned that they gave that monkey a lot of fucking speed.
Dude, this thing is
garbage, kind of 70s speed that's mostly toilet cleaner.
You could not fucking pay me to film this movie, right? This thing is fucking terrifying, right?
It's fucking mental.
And it doesn't, like, I don't care, like, if you're because these animals have handlers on set, right? Well, basically, they're going to have a handler. So all that's stopping you from getting fucking mauled is a guy, right, who's behind you if you're the cameraman. He's not standing right beside it. He's at the back, like, giving it commands, like, like
sit.
Yeah, but no, they'll have code words, like, safe words, all like, Alamo monkey. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's like, you know what I mean? It's this shit that terrifies me. But it really is, like, it's shot in such...
The monkey's fucking a door handle. Ain't no safe words in hell.
But the thing is it's shot in such a way that it's so kinetic and so fast that, like, all the monkey scenes are like that. That's the highlight of this movie is like, but the problem is, and this is my bad. Jaws is the archetype creature feature movie, right? And it really is. And the reason that Jaws works is by accident, really, because Steven Spielberg wanted the shark, like, all the way through the movie.
And it loads, yeah.
And the animatronic shark broke, and he couldn't do it. So he worked around it with music cues and shadow and foreshadow and all the rest. It was really, really clever. And as a result, when you finally get to see the shark proper towards the end of the movie, it impacts.
Mhm.
There is so much monkey rampage in this movie that after about the third time it happens, you're desensitized to it. And this
Yeah.
movie then runs like at a colossally fast pace of monkey attack, monkey attack, monkey attack, monkey attack, and it just loses any sense of like urgency or threat. Not because of what the monkey's doing, it's just we've seen so much of it.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah,
my
'cause,
bad.
every kind of I had it doing
Yeah.
So that's a rad that becomes a bad because of
There's a
that.
rad that works in. So
Every scene
yeah.
with the monkey is just the monkey at one end of a corridor, and then it sees a target and it runs, and then they run in a door, and the monkey fucking throws it. What they must have had like some really hot monkey bitch on the other side of that door, because this fucking thing just hurls itself penis first at the fucking doors. How many of those doors are still standing? I've got no idea, man. Honestly, it's just like a fucking horned up red ass torpedo. Just hurtling down a corridor and fucking throwing itself at a door. Oh man. Just I am sure if you go to YouTube, there will be a montage clip of just baboon door rape scenes from the film Shakma. Go and watch that, and don't waste your time with any of the rest of this film, because that was the rad. The only other rad thing in this is the black dude Scotty from Star Trek impression,
Yeah.
which quite frankly is the best acting in this film, with the possible exception of McDowell.
Oh, McDowell is clearly in it for a paycheck. He's like, I mean, this is the late day McDowell as well. Gone are the fun times we had watching Fright Night. But yeah, oh man, yeah. It's so funny. Red Arse torpedo. It destroyed me. There's the other thing that made me laugh. In the time that this movie's come out to where we are now, there's a whole this year it became more obvious to me. There's a whole ongoing joke thing on the internet. It's 100 men versus a gorilla. I don't know if you've come across this yet.
No.
So there's a whole thing that just exists somewhere where it's like that. That the idea being, could 100 men kill a gorilla, like in a fist fight sort of thing?
Okay,
And there are
right.
so many like people have created videos of the last one standing and all disheveled and all this. And what I thought was, this is the only movie where that logic actually happens, because this gorilla fucking kills everyone, dismantles people that are much more capable, much more deadly than everyone else, and then the weedy guy who's our main, let's be honest, kind of protagonist here, he takes the monkey down, and he's the least capable person in this movie to take the monkey down. In fact, I get it, because it's like at the beginning, he's not got he's too kind to the animals. He's not got the killer edge that McDowell's looking for, and at the end he murders a monkey that he cared for. So I'm assuming, I don't know what the moral of the story is. Like, is the moral of
he murders a monkey?
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I swear. At the end of this movie, I don't know if what I'm supposed to think is, like, McDowell was right all along, don't make relationships with lab pets, or if the moral of this story is, like that, don't love anyone anytime, because one day they'll go feral on you and you'll have to kill them. I don't. It's such a and it's so obvious that he's going to be the survivor. You know what I mean? It's so fucking
Yeah.
obvious that he's going to be the last one all the way through the movie, which then baffles me as to how long it takes to get there. Because the other thing that's probably worth mentioning here is this movie should not be a second over an hour and 20 minutes, like at all. And this is
My number one bad point about this film is the length. It is 1 hour and 44 minutes.
Which is fucking baffling to me. This is because the monkey is alive.
The plot recap I gave at the start is the whole fucking film.
But the monkey is alive, right?
Yeah.
From the coma that it's in or whatever, within 15 minutes of this movie, which then means that the next hour and a half is the monkey's killer rampage.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. No other movie does that. I don't know. I went on a tangent there. I think it was mad, sad, bad,
it's
and
all
bad.
right. No, the length of the film is I had a huge problem with the length of this fucking thing. Because the plot line is so linear. There is no subplots, no that.
The subplots, the Dungeons and Dragons.
But that's not even a subplot. That's a plot device.
Yes,
that's supposed to keep them in this building.
Yes,
Fucking dog shite. I tell you what's sad, Duncan.
Tell me what's sad.
What is sad is the fact that we don't use the same format that we used to use. Back in the glory days of the podcast.
You suckered me. I thought we were going to get through a full night without this.
Every time. No. Let's just slipped a wee roofie in your drink there, pal. Got you all liquored up and easy Ozzy. But if we did still do the nickname things as I used to do back in the podcast days, I would have a nickname in this film. And it relates to the very character that you're talking about. Now, the first thing I wrote about him, I referred to him as a Barra's Market Luke Skywalker. Right? Now, for the non-Scots among us, the Barra's Market is an old-fashioned outdoor market that still exists in the East End of Glasgow. And basically,
in a time before Temu.
That's a very good. It's the Glaswegian Temu.
Yeah.
It's basically anything you want, you can get at the bars. I mean, it won't be fucking real and it won't work, but you'll be able to get it in the bars. But then this morphed later on because I couldn't be fucked writing that every time, so I just started calling him Puke Skywalker. Because he's a shit, unpleasant Luke Skywalker clone. And then I'm going to finish this off with the really bad thing. And I can't actually remember this, but it obviously affected me enough that I wrote it down. I've just written here baboon Bobby. So I'm assuming at some point you see that monkey's cock.
I usually have to go back through the movies to extract clips to put over. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not fucking doing that. Right? Not doing it. Not doing it for this one.
Nobody needed to see the baboon Bobby.
Oh my god. We got a lot more out of that than I was expecting us to. I'm over the moon right now. Right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're talking about lines from this movie that are of note for various different reasons. And we'll be doing it right after this. Welcome back to a segment I've called Quotes That Deserve a Banana and a Warning Label. Baz, we're talking about some of the lines from this movie that are just... Here we go. My favourite one, and it happens early in the movie, and it's not even funny. It's just, once again, the movie is called Shakma, right? The front cover has a murderous gorilla on it, and there's a line early in this movie where they say, Shakma is harmless. And you're like, we will say the back of the movie cover said he's a fucking marauding killing machine, and you're telling me he's harmless? That can't be right.
Au contraire, my friend. Au contraire.
So the movie's like that. Hold my beer. Here we go. So yeah, Shakma is harmless, Baz. Harmless.
I've got here Puke Skywalker's shockingly misogynistic attitude towards female upper body strength. Because he throws away this line, I need you to create a distraction so I can pull him out. I'd do it myself, but I don't think you could lift him. Clearly never met my wife. My wife
While you're at it,
orders of magnitude stronger than I am.
While you're at it, just make me a wee sandwich and iron my shirt. Another line, once again, I'd like... there's already a couple of bodies being found in various different rooms in here, and then the line is uttered by one of our characters, "We'll be safe in here." And you're like, "Will you? Because every room we've been into thus far has contained a dead body. But you know what? We'll be fine in here. What's the worst that can happen?"
My other one that I'd noted down here, and it's not actually a line, so to speak, but what I found absolutely hilarious was Puke Skywalker's lackluster attempt to shoulder charge his way through a locked door.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
And it's even funnier because it comes after at least 3 previous baboon door rape scenes.
Yeah.
You know, where the fucking the baboon goes at the door like it's a lubed up anus. And your man Puke Skywalker just throws himself and he literally bounces off the fucking door. It's awful.
Yeah, but he
Awful.
at the end of this movie, he's the guy that takes down the monkey. So
Yes, God knows.
there you go. The last thing I've got here, once again, all my lines that I picked are all just like, it's all foreshadowing. Once again, there's been various different murders. There's been a couple of escape attempts that have horribly failed. There's been some like kind of quasi traps being set up to try and get away from the monkey. And then the line is uttered, "Nothing can go wrong." And I'm like, well, everything's fucking gone wrong tonight. Like, this is like the worst night ever. Yes. I've written here, it's like it's almost as if Shakma, like, and I've kind of ruined my line by saying "hold my beer," but I've put it in here. It's like almost as if Shakma would say like that, "hold my banana." Someone's getting bummed. So yeah, that's my last line. Do you have anything else?
No.
Cool.
That was fucking it.
Hour and 44 minutes. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about plot holes from this movie. We're going to be doing it right after this. Welcome back to a segment that I've called Plot Holes Bigger Than a Baboon Cage. Can't even say that. What you got, Baz? Out with, why is the monkey so angry?
Yeah. Where's all the rage coming from, Shakma? Well, so my first one then, actually, funny that I mentioned the name there because it relates to that. When the dude that supposedly euthanizes the baboon early on in the movie goes to fill out a form and he spells it Shakma, like the word shock and then the word ma.
Yes.
Instead of Shakma.
Yeah.
Shakma. It's the name of the film, mate. Do you know what I mean? Could we not have got that right? It's the name of the fucking film.
I hadn't even noticed that. That angers me so much.
That's the kind of thing that I noticed. That's like when I ruined Friday the 13th for you, my friend.
Right, let's never discuss that again. It was always turned one way. Well, I mean, here's like the biggest conceit for me. The biggest plot hole is, right, this is a lab, right? We grant that. Yes. It has technology like computers, and it doesn't actually have phones, and yet no one in this entire movie phones for assistance at all. Throughout the entire runtime of the movie, there's no phone call to the police. It's not like the army, the National Guard. Like, no one phones anyone for anything, and they have phones in the building because we see them in rooms. So
that's I had not noticed that, but you're absolutely right.
That is my biggest plot. Is the one that I wanted to double down on here is just lift the phone. Almost every scene that I saw a telephone, I was like that. Fucking lift the phone. Lift the phone.
No, I mean one guy with a dart gun. Whole thing's over. No, I mean. On the subject of shockingly obvious solutions to this, the other plot hole I had, which was my biggest problem, it was Shakma's kryptonite, as I've called it, which appears to be folk hiding in cupboards.
It can't work cupboards.
Or possibly big torches. Both of which he just can't cope with. Surprising that he manages to kill every cunt, really. But he does.
Oh, And with that, ladies and gents, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to be scoring this movie. Oh, I wonder how high we're going to go. And then we're going to be bringing it into its natural close. We're going to be doing it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Rated R for Rampage, Rage, and really bad roleplay. Baz.
And red rectums.
Rated R for Red Rectum. Scoring this one out of 5. Now, you've pointed out at least one thing we did like, but is that enough to drag the score from the depths that I have a feeling you might be heading? What you give?
No, do you know what? I'd fallen into the trap sometimes, like right now. I get drunk on these shows, and then you and me have a laugh about the film, and I end up feeling better about the film than I had any goddamn right to. So no, I'm going to rein myself in, and I'm going back to a 1 because this is a dog shite film based around one stupid premise that goes on about twice as long as it needs to. So 1.
Fair. I am marginal higher than you. I gave it a 1.5. For the monkey, I think the monkey is fucking great. I think the movie is painfully too long. And not nearly. You have a character like Roddy McDowell in here who's so over the top in camp, and it just stands out against the seriousness of this movie. This movie plays everything so fucking serious that character doesn't make sense to me. Make it all kind of quasi-comedic, and I'm probably done with it, or make it all fully fucking serious, and, I don't know, phone for help. Ladies and gents, that was a 1 from the Baz and a 1.5 from me. Let's bring this episode in for a landing. And ladies and gents, that is a wrap on Shakma from 1990, a film that proves the only thing scarier than malpractice is a baboon with anger issues and zero chill. It's part horror, part survival thriller, and part why didn't anyone just leave the building or use the fucking phone? And yet somehow it still manages to be gloriously unhinged. A massive thanks to the Baz, the only man that can watch a movie where the villain is a primate and still call it a nuanced character study with a red ass. If you love what we do here, subscribe, rate, and review, and spread the gospel of glorious trash cinema on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. Your feedback fuels us like the rage that fuels Shakma. The next time on the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, we are trading baboons for cosmic chaos with The Night of the Comet from 1984, a film that asks what happens when a comet wipes out humanity, leaves behind zombies, and somehow still finds time for a mall shopping montage. Expect neon, nihilism, and the most upbeat apocalypse you've ever seen. Can't wait to do this movie. Until then, keep your dices rolling, your baboons tranquilized, and remember that here at the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, the bizarre meets the brilliant, one B-movie at a time. Baz, say goodbye to our listeners, please.
Guten Nacht, meine sexy Liebchen, and let's all just be happy that in a film centered around a gloriously engorged red anus, I managed not to mention the flag of Japan. Sayonara, sons of bitches.
Blitzkrieg.
Blitzkrieg.